filmmaking very accidentally. It was not a planned journey. What I wanted to do actually was just make money. So I started pitching restaurants and different cafes saying that, would you like a logo? Would you like to design a menu card? And only when they said yes, I used to go home, Google how to design, and then start designing. One of the clients asked me, do you make videos? I did not know how to make videos, so I said yes. I went home, I started, Googling how to edit a video, and they paid me 6,000 rupees for just that. Like within about 3 months, I got a film production project which was worth 8 lakh rupees. So I was desperate to prove myself that I am a good filmmaker. I went to Assam with my 4 friends. For 45 days, we shot the movie. We came back because I had finished all my funds. So I did a crowdfunding campaign. We raised about 5 lakh rupees, put it in through a lot of film festivals, and we won about 10 to 12 really prestigious awards. So one of them being Dada Saheb Phalke Film Festival Award in India. I don't fall in love with my ideas. I have scrapped so many of my own ideas. Do you know what was the name of Magnetic Nation before Magnetic Nation? It was permissionless creators. The idea was that you have to be permissionless when you create. It was inspired by Naval Ravikant. And then eventually I was speaking with Guruji and I was like, I feel like changing this name, permissionless. And then he helped me out actually arrive at this magnetic. So he contributed hugely to this entire thing of coming up with this whole concept of Magnetic Nation. And
Every once in a while, someone comes who doesn't just build a brand, he builds a movement. He doesn't run after followers, he attracts them. He helps creators wake up to their real power. Today's guest is one of those rare people, Pratamesh Krisang. The founder of Magnetic Nation, he created the 84-day Magnetic Tribe Challenge. His mission is simple: to help creators stop building alone and start building tribes that grow together. A filmmaker, entrepreneur, and a mentor. He has turned simple ideas into powerful brands that truly connect with people. Grounded in wisdom of Bharat, he is leading a new generation of creators who use story, service, and spirit to make an impact. Get ready to experience the energy and the magic of Pratamesh Krisang. Namaskaram, Pratamesh. How are you?
I'm good, Shashank. How are you?
I'm fantastic, sir. I'm fantastic. I really appreciate your time today. You've accepted my invite to come and talk to us. Let's start with the one last question. That's the first question. So please tell us about your filmmaking journey and how was it working with one of the the pioneers in acting like Adil Hussain Saab and other wonderful people. So please take us through your filmmaking journey first.
Yeah. So I got into filmmaking very accidentally. It was not a planned journey. What I wanted to do actually was just make money. And it's quite opposite of how people enter into filmmaking. It's like they're passionate and they want to kind of just do something and show people to something, and that's how they enter into filmmaking. What happened was when I was in college, I started my freelancing journey. I started designing stuff for my clients. So I started pitching restaurants and different cafes saying that, would you like a logo? Would you like to design a menu card? And only when they said yes, I used to go home, Google how to design, and then start designing. And then I then I actually started, slowly delivering a few things to my clients. And they in the initial days, I did all of this for free because I did not have any portfolio, and I started doing it. And then eventually, one thing led to another. They gave me references. I started getting paid clients, and clients started paying me to do these things. Then eventually, one of the clients asked me, do you make videos? I did not know how to make videos, so I said yes. So they were like, okay, I have these about 20 photos. I want to make a video out of this with music on the background. I did not know how to make it. I said yes. I went home. I started, Googling how to edit a video. And I had to do was compile photos, add a background music, add a few text on the images, and that was done. And they paid me 6,000 rupees for just that. And I was like, wow, this is like 18 years ago, by the way. I mean, that was for me, for a college kid who is just graduated, it's a pretty decent money, you know.
So what
For me,
was
that
your
was
age? What was your age?
my age might be about 18 years,
Wow.
around
So
18. Yeah, yeah.
So at 18 years, you made. I want to dig deeper into that particular thought process. Like, why did you even start for free, and how did you get your first clients? But then, please complete that. So, what happened
Yeah,
after
so
6,000?
when I said yes, they gave me the money, and I found that I'm enjoying this so much, like the whole editing process. It just was very natural for me. It did not take a lot of time for me to learn. I learned editing within half an hour, like how to use that tool basically, not editing as a skill, as an art, but the technical skill. It was not very difficult. So I said, this is great. So I started pitching this to every single person. And eventually I started getting better projects until like within about 3 months, I got a film production project which was worth 8 lakh rupees. Okay.
Wow.
And that was pretty good. So this was a training film series for a company who wanted to train their construction workers on
Hmm.
how to do the work that they are doing. So we took the project. And now, while doing this project, just like every other project, I did not know how to do this. I just said yes, and they believed, and they gave me the money. And so I started getting in touch with all these professionals who are good at their work, and everybody treated me like "Kal ka bachcha aaya hai," right? Like who is this newbie, right? And but I still kind of went ahead, paid extra, and got the work done. But I did not feel really good about people not looking at me as a professional filmmaker. And I
Hmm.
said, because I live in Pune, which has FTII, which
Yeah.
is one of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most prestigious school, yeah, in the country. And
Yes.
when I talk with people, they have a very different aura, right? And
Correct.
like hanging out with them, I felt a bit insecure. I'm like, uh, how do I hang out with these people who are so professional and create such great work? So I was desperate to prove myself that I am a good filmmaker. So I met my friend Manjeet on a train journey called as Jagriti Yatra. And on
Wonderful.
this journey, like we kind of became very good friends. And eventually, like about a year later, he had written this blog where he talked about how he was going to join an anti-social organization. And instead of doing that, because of his father's guidance, he chose the path of getting educated and get admission in the Oxford University so that he can create changes in the place that he lived in. And when he got the admission in Oxford University, that is when he wrote this blog as a tribute to his father. And his father was no more. And it was a very touching blog. So I said, dude, I called him like, dude, this is an amazing story. I want to make a movie out of it. And he said, okay. He did not take me seriously. He's like, okay, I'm just like saying that like that. Within a month, I had a screenplay, which I had converted the blog into a screenplay. And I went to Assam with my four friends. For 45 days, we shot the movie. We came back and we made the movie. The movie was like not completed because I had finished all my funds. So I did a crowdfunding campaign. We raised about 5 lakh rupees through that crowdfunding campaign.
Wow.
And then we used that money to complete the film. We put it in through a lot of film festivals and we won about 10 to 12 really prestigious awards. So one of them being Dada
Wonderful.
Saheb Phalke Film Festival Award in India. And
Fantastic.
then there was Grand Prix Award in Mexico. So there were a bunch of these good awards that the Golden Palm Award.
Wow.
So we
Wow.
won some bunch of awards, and that got us covered all across the country in every single major newspaper. And that is when I was like, okay, finally my mission is done. Like I am now a serious filmmaker, right? I have the stamp. But then what I
Wonderful.
realized is I did not feel anything after that achievement. It was like everything was just for showing off, nothing else. Although the
Okay.
movie I made was pretty powerful, it created an impact. It sent out a message to the world which was hidden for a very long time. And but for me, all this external achievement was not that satisfying. What was satisfying is as a result of doing this journey of making the film, the people I met, the impact it created, the careers it kind of built, the mentors I found. I worked with Adil Hussain, one of the most legendary actors in the country.
Yes.
And for
Yes.
him to say yes to a filmmaker who has zero experience, I mean, all of this experience is way better than every other recognition and accolade I got. They did not really feel that great. compared to the journey. So yeah, that's my filmmaking story. Eventually I
Wow. So
switched, but we can talk about that story later.
yeah. So basically, you are someone who is a go-getter, like because you've got a thought and you just get into it, right? That's how I'm able
Yeah,
to see because um, so looks like it has expertise can be developed, but the intention has to be right. In your case, it's
correct.
quite evident because the examples you have quoted, be it the creation of the pamphlets from the first when you were in college, and then you went into creating of videos, and then you went into training videos. See, at that age, I understand we had a lot of limitations with the tools as well. Because I've been into filmmaking not as much as your very very smallest scale possible filmmaking I've done, and I know it's very hard at that time. 18 years ago, things were not that handy. They are quite handy right now, but you were able to do it, and you got into it and got the things done. And thanks to Adil ji, he has given us you with one last question, I would
Yeah,
say,
that's true.
because his presence in your movie and you directing him, that makes a lot of impact on the storytelling as well. Like you guys have done fantastic job
Yeah.
together, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, if not for Adilda, this movie wouldn't be where it is. The impact that it created, it wouldn't happen. I mean, I have never met an actor. Like, I have worked in the film industry. I've also worked with a lot of other actors with good reputation, and they're pretty famous. Almost every person in India knows them. But the level of humility that I have learned from Adilda, like, this person came on the set and did not have a single complaint. We were newbies. We did not know how to manage a film production house. We had 50 people crew member when we were shooting. And I was managing the production, directing it, shooting it. I was doing the cinematography. I had written the screenplay. I was coaching my actors who never knew how to act because the kids were from the village where I was shooting. So they were from the local
Oh,
school of that village. So it was crazy. I mean, the chaos was next level that we were shooting in. And even within all of that, Adilda was so peaceful, so down to earth, no complaint, nothing. And I was like, if this is the level of professionalism that I want to develop in myself, like this is how I want to work, which is
mm,
a bhakti. It's like he has a bhakti towards the craft of acting. Like he has this
wow.
dedication. Yeah. And it's just look at him work. That itself is a spiritual experience for me.
Fantastic. That's very deep. That's really deep. Okay, now because you brought out that angle in your thought process called spirituality, so how
Yeah.
did that help you to develop your content and develop your thought process? And how did you were able to channelize your energies accordingly to reach your goals and your clients' goals?
Yeah. See, I have had this, inclination towards spirituality right from when I was very young. The only people that I have been inspired by since childhood was the rishis and the warriors of India. I was never inspired by the emperors and kings and princes, and those are the kind of people I was never like. I never had this imagination of being fascinated by them. And eventually, when I started, got out of my hometown, like my village, I got into the city. I got introduced to Swami Vivekananda. This is the statue that you see here, and I started reading him like crazy. Like I have read almost every single thing he has written. There is a book of like 6 or 10 book volume of his writings. I have read all of them, his biography, his everything. And I feel that it kind of deeply rewired me the way I do things, right? Since then, I have never been able to do any business that does not have this element of impact in it, that element of spirituality, that element of, something where it changes the lives of other people, it transforms other people. It's impossible for me to do anything else like that does not have this element. So that was the first introduction to like hardcore spirituality. And then I started getting into meditation. I started meditating a lot. And, I can actually feel the changes that I have gone through are at a physical level, not just like mental level because of my practices. I truly feel that there are a lot of deeply, probably genetic changes that I have gone through. right? Because of the practices that I did. And it was just simple meditation practices, nothing like crazy or out of the world. A lot of my, you usually have these physical tendencies or mental tendencies that you have to break. We call it karma in our culture. So I do feel there is a lot of these karmas that have been wiped out because of what I worked on. Because a lot of my friends who knew me in school and who still know me don't believe that I am the same person. It's as if I have died and reborn again. It's almost that, that level of shift that I have gone through.
I can resonate with that because I've done certain practices as well, and I've seen um, a lot of changes within myself. Because the idea of meditation, the idea of making your stilling your mind, that is very deep, and it actually gives you a holistic picture of the scenario. For example, you want to pick up a task, and the moment you are into that Zen mode or that mode, you will understand it. So I want to you to help me out by explaining what happens. Let's say you have a task in front of you. You can, let's say, you wanted to start a startup. Let's pick up that, okay?
Yeah.
And how does how did the practices of yours would help a person? For example, I
Yeah.
asked you to Prathamesh, help me starting a AI agent startup. Now you are the founder and CEO of it. I'm the investor. So tell me, with your process, how you will be able to achieve the greatest level in that particular process of starting a startup and
Yeah.
establishing.
Awesome. That's an awesome question. The first thing, if you tell me, let's say, Prathamesh, let's start an AI company. I would never start with AI itself. I would start with the people who are going to benefit from this. And there is this concept called as Ekagrata Dharana Dhyan Samadhi in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And that is a concept that I would use in order to figure out what
Yeah,
needs to be done.
do you mind explaining that in English as well, please?
Yes, I will do that. So, Ekagrata is concentration or focus. Your ability, it's not just concentration, but your ability to concentrate. Dharana is your ability to hold a thought for an extended period of time. Dhyana is continuing that flow of thought and inquiry and contemplation on that idea for an extended period of time without any, it's like effortless contemplation on an idea for a very long period of time, right? And then samadhi is when that idea integrates inside you. You become one with that idea. Okay. This is the practice I have been subconsciously doing, but I did not know how to, like, that this is what I was doing until very recently when I realized that Patanjali actually encoded this knowledge inside Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So the way to do this is, the first thing I would do is, if you don't have this ability to focus on a single thing for a very long period of time, you will have to develop that ability first. So what you should do, like you are telling me, let's build an AI startup, right? I would ask, what is a point of focus here, right? And for point of focus, I would personally start with the person, not the idea, the person who is going to benefit from us. I call them the adhikaris. Okay. An adhikari is what are the qualities of the person who will benefit from this AI tool. Okay. And once I have this, right, I will start really, really going deep into the life of this person, the context of this person, right? The idea is the content, but where this idea is landing is the context, right? Where you put this idea is the context. So imagine your context is like a soil and your product is like the seed.
Okay.
If the soil is not ready, the seed won't sprout. And there is, no matter how
Ah,
amazing your idea is, it doesn't work.
wonderful.
So if you
So
want to build the greatest of AI apps or whatever it is, it won't work if you don't understand the context in which you're building this app.
basically,
So what
you would
I'll
have to. Sorry to interrupt. Just want to bring it back again. So basically, you would want to understand the thought architecture of your consumer, whom you are actually catering this app to. Correct?
That's perfect.
Oh,
Yes. I
okay.
call it, thought architecture is again a great word. I call it the context of the consumer.
Context. Okay. In that particular
Yeah.
app, how does it fit into his particular his or her
Correct. Because what happens
implementation?
is, as founders and as creators, we fall so much in love with our own idea that we forget about who we are creating for and what's our place in their life. Because for
Well,
us, this is our whole life, right? So we expect everyone to think that our product should be their whole life.
yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah,
if because that's your thought is your child, and you think your child is the most beautiful
correct.
baby in the whole world. But how does it fit into the other person's life? That all it matters. And you hit
Correct.
the nail right on that. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
exactly. And you use the analogy of a child perfectly, because if you're raising a child, you have to understand in what context of this world are you raising this child. Now the context of the world has changed. There is so much of technology and AI. So now you have to figure out, okay, how do you raise a child in a world which is full of AI, and when everything is at the tip of your fingertips, literally. Like, I just need to have a thought and I have an answer. Now, if you are raising a child in this world where every question has an answer, how do you raise that child? So in this context, what do I do? Right? So you have to really be aware of the context in which you are operating. Because if you don't do that, you will just struggle a lot. You will just keep building something that you are in love with and keep getting slapped by Devi, right? Because you are like, understanding context is like understanding Devi. That's what I strongly feel. Because context is basically, what are the natural laws that I cannot control in which I am operating?
Super.
The natural
Okay.
laws of human behavior, the natural laws of how the world works, how people behave, everything. Right. So I would first really meditate for a very long time on just that. I won't even worry about the product I'm building. It doesn't matter. Right.
Meditate in the
This is
sense
what
you
I
will, in that process, you will understand the context very clearly, because you are now able to detach yourself from your thought, and you look at your like an eagle looks at the prey as it's hunting. You look at the context of your customer, or the target
yes.
audience, and then you act accordingly. So what happens after that?
Yeah, so when you start meditating on the context of your audience, you start seeing patterns that you wouldn't otherwise.
Okay.
Okay. And those patterns could be where the world is going in your market. For example, let's take, I am talking with experts and creators, right? I'm building Magnetic Nation. The shape of the Magnetic Nation itself is still not decided what shape it will take, right?
Okay.
What I know for sure is who I am serving, which is experts and creators. And what I would do is I would start meditating on, okay, what is it that my experts are going through? What are all the, what's the crisis that my experts are going through? That is what I would meditate on. I'll just close my eyes and I'll start feeling what they are feeling. They are feeling underconfident, they are feeling a lot of self-doubt. They are not able to figure out how to express their thoughts. They are feeling invisible. They are not able to, get the leads that they deserve. They have worked for 20 years, 30 years. They have developed an expertise, but they don't know how to get the right people in their tribe. They don't have a tribe around them. All they know is the company they have worked with and the colleagues that they are with. But beyond that, there is no connection they have in the ecosystem. They have no reputation. They just have the experience, but they have no proof of the work that they did. Are you seeing? So everything I said right now, it just started coming to me. Why? Because I started feeling what they are feeling. And I'm sure, like everybody who is listening to this podcast, and if they are an expert, and if they have never created content, they will feel such feelings. Or if they don't have a network that they have beyond their company, they will start feeling these feelings. They will resonate with what I just said. And that is what I need to understand first. And then I'll figure out, okay, what is stopping them from building a reputation, building an influence beyond their existing circle? They feel self doubt. So, what is the solution for self doubt? That is my product. They feel a block. They are not able to express that. They have the ideas, but they just don't know how to express, where to start. So, that's a solution. I have to develop a solution for this block. So, what kind of AI app do you have in mind? Let's take an hypothetical idea.
The AI app which I'm thinking right now is to um, create short form videos. Let's say if I give a YouTube link, and it has it's an AI agent app which I'm thinking right now, because let's say
Hmm.
I like one particular short video, and I'll give the link of it, that app, and I give my video which I've recorded, which has a lot of cuts needs to be done. It's basically a raw video, and then it has to
Hmm.
look at this and use this format and edit my video and bring it out in a nice presentable format. That's the AI app I'm looking right.
Okay, awesome. So the way I would start is I would first decide who is it for, right? Who is it for, as in, let's talk about the adhikaris, adhikari lakshana. So for an app like this, you would want people who are already recording long form content. Is that right?
Correct.
Cool. So there are podcasters, there are lectures of professors, there are long form, like me also, like I create long form videos where I just speak on camera.
Yeah.
So there are these few people, and all of them, you would rather like them. So I'm not thinking of the product. The product is there in my back of my mind, but I'm just thinking and feeling that, okay, how would it make my life better? Right? And this is how I would articulate it. I would rather want you to focus on creating the value without thinking of the time it takes, and let
Okay.
AI figure out how to, cut it down into, digestible pieces. I would like you to be in a state of flow all the time, because when you're in a state of flow, time is not a constraint, or it should not be a constraint. Right? You should be able to just flow and just speak whatever you're going to speak, whether you're giving a lecture, whether you're doing a podcast, whether you're talking on a camera as a talking head video, doesn't matter. So this is what I would like personally for someone who is making a long form video without thinking, okay, can we convert this into a short form video or not? And then then I'll figure out, okay, what is the positioning that we could have for this app, for a product like this? Because this is another one idea that I strongly believe in, that systems create value, but stories create valuation. Okay.
Okay.
So whenever I'm building anything, I start with deciding the narrative, and then I figure out the system that needs to be built to deliver on that narrative.
Okay.
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 So even before building the product, I would decide a narrative. The narrative is, let's say, we'll just go like on the top of my head, whatever is coming. Okay.
Okay.
You stay in a flow, we will take care of the rest. Okay.
To the consumer, like my target audience. Okay.
Yes,
Makes sense.
for your right. Your flow state is more valuable than your. No, that's not a great framing. Let's think of something else.
Basically,
I think
what
the
you have
first
done
one,
earlier.
yeah,
Sorry.
you stay in, yeah, yeah,
So that
tell
that
me.
was nice statement. Why did you say it was not good? I liked it. You stay in the flow. We'll take care of the rest. That's because that's what
Yeah,
we
yeah,
do. That's what
that's
we
what
all do.
correct. So I was going back to the same statement. So I was
Yeah.
just saying
Okay.
if we come up with some more ideas. That's the curse of being a creative person. You always want
Yeah,
to,
I got it. I totally
yeah, yeah,
resonate with that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So let's keep it this. You stay in the flow, we take care of the rest. That is the positioning. Okay.
Okay.
Now I would design the whole product around this idea, where my product is not just taking a clip and cutting it down using AI. My product starts from how to get you in a state of flow,
Okay.
keep you in
Makes sense.
a state of flow, and then convert
Okay.
everything you're saying into digestible content pieces. Getting it?
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
for example, what I can do is I can start with an MVP, something as simple as a note-taking app, where you just have to record voice notes. My AI will analyze it and turn it into LinkedIn post and blog post and articles. That's a start.
Okay. Beautiful thought. That by itself is a big business, but that's a
Exactly.
beautiful thought. That's a beautiful thought. Yeah. Cool. And that's easy too.
Right.
Because of the
Correct.
N8, what is that? N8N and other
N8N. N8N.
N8N. Yeah, yeah, the N8N. Yeah, that automates this. It's pretty easy actually. That's a good thought. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go
Yes.
ahead.
Now what I would do is I would add another feature where my this tool becomes a co-listener inside coaching calls if you are a coach, and it'll take your
Okay.
coaching calls. It will anonymize the information of the people inside the calls and turn whatever your knowledge you're giving through the coaching calls into articles, into blog post again. So what happens is you don't have to create content separately anymore. You just have to live your
Okay.
life, do your thing, and everything you say gets turned into value, and your, let's say, coaching calls don't get wasted. So you increase the value of your coaching calls by 10x by doing this. See, like now all of this is coming not by thinking of the product, but by thinking of the people it is going to serve,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
right?
Beautiful.
So
Yes.
this is dhyana. What I am doing right now is dhyana is a continuous flow of thought. I usually, when I'm
Mm.
talking to you, I'm trying to not judge myself, and I'm trying to just be in a state of flow. I'm trying to just speak whatever is coming to my mind. right? Even if whatever I'm saying, some of the thoughts may not be the best thoughts, I don't care. What matters is I don't judge my thoughts and I allow the flow of thought to continuously stay. Because your ideas and dhyana is like river, the more it flows, the more it grows, the deeper it gets, and it creates more
Okay.
value. It creates a very strong ecosystem around it. And so you should allow your thoughts to flow consistently. So how did we do this? We started with is we held on to a thought. We created a vessel for holding on to an idea. The idea was it started with your AI app idea, which converts long form stuff into uh, you know short form content. But then we took that as a thread and went to who might benefit from it, and we held on to those people and we started feeling what they feel. And then we started figuring out if this is the situation and the crisis they are in, what is it that I could do? And then that led to one thought, another thought. And I did not stick to my original idea, which is a very good idea. I mean, uh, people have this, especially not have this weird idea of sticking to where you started and blocking yourself. But if you fall in love with your idea so much and you are not willing to move on from that idea in the face of new insights, then you will end up wasting a lot of time, energy, money, and everything into what you're building, right? In filmmaking, we call this kill your darlings. Okay.
Oh, kill your darlings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
call these ideas that you are in love with as your darlings, and you should have the courage to kill them
Oh my
if they are not
goodness. That's
serving the
very
purpose.
harsh, but makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you should be willing to kill your darlings in the face of new insights, in the face of new discoveries.
Okay.
So very, what is Google doing right now? Google has one of the greatest search business in the world, and it is killing its own darling with AI mode now because it
Yeah.
has to. If it doesn't, then it'll be gone because that's the greatest revenue chunk that they get, right?
True. Very true.
Advertisements.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
So every good entrepreneur knows this. Every good creator knows this, how to kill your darlings, and you should be willing to do that.
Wonderful. So after
Yeah.
the flow, which is dhyana, and what is the next dharana? Like, how do you induce dharana, and how does it help my adhikari, who is the customer of my
Yeah.
app?
Yeah. So first I said that it's not dhyana first. First it is dharana,
Dharana.
which is
Oh my bad.
holding
Okay.
the idea. Yeah.
Okay.
And dhyana is to stay in the flow. Like
Stay in
whatever
the flow.
thoughts are
Yeah.
you don't break them. A continuous flow of thought can be understood as dhyana, or
Okay.
continuous contemplation without a break in your thought is dhyana. How will you
Okay.
create that flow if you don't know what are you focusing on, right? You won't be
Makes
able
sense.
to. So that's what dharana is the first step, dhyana is the second, and the third is samadhi. Now you have to understand that these concepts were actually developed for self-realization. We are
Correct.
actually downgrading these ideas to use it for entrepreneurship, right? Right now, like whatever I am telling you, we are repurposing those ideas right now. The original ideas are always for self-realization and realizing God and stuff like that. Samadhi is integrating or absorbing. So everything that happened, right? You integrate it, you absorb it within your being, you to such a level that it becomes an intuition. You don't have to think about it anymore. It is like when you are driving a car, when you are learning it for the first time, you're very conscious about what is the gear, what is the clutch, what is the accelerator, when to brake, what's happening on all the four corners. You're just very conscious about it. But you reach a level where all of this becomes very automatic for you. It becomes one with you. That is samadhi, which is absorption or integration with that skill, where it just becomes one with you. You become one with the car. You feel the car. You physically feel what's happening in the car. When all of a sudden your engine starts making a different noise, you feel it, right? When your car is bumping into a thing, you feel it physically. So that is what happens when you are working on an idea and when you are in a continuous flow of thought. When you are so absorbed in that thinking, eventually a lot of these different parts start becoming one. It's also like when you are editing a video. In the beginning, you are very conscious and you are very slow, and eventually you become very automatic. You know the shortcuts and everything, and you're just able to edit things very fast, right, on the editing table. When things become a muscle memory, a second nature for you, that is samadhi. Okay. It's an integration with the thing that you're doing. Same with the AI app that we are talking about. When your insights become so integrated within you that you just know looking at a feature whether you should build or not. It just becomes automatic for you. You don't have to consciously think about whether I should take this decision or not with your business. It just becomes automatic. Yeah, that is samadhi. That's the Indian way of building things or understanding things,
Beautiful. So
gaining
basically,
knowledge,
what
gaining.
sure, it's a triangle of a thought process, right? So one thing is the dharana and the dhyana and then samadhi, and that gives you the end result. Oh wow, that's
Correct,
amazing. So
correct.
all
And
right,
for
so
that, you need this capability called as ekagrata, which is your ability to focus on a single idea without getting distracted.
wonderful, wonderful.
Because if you keep getting distracted, then you won't be able to go deeper and find those insights.
Very true, very true. So help me out. Like you started something called Magnetic Nation, right? And that is a very unique idea. I'm part of it. I'm part of on your WhatsApp group as well. I'll mention that in the description also, so that listeners and viewers can join. So in Magnetic Nation, what is your ideology? Like, why did you even start it, and what is your objective with that part? Let's have a deep dive into it, and maybe I learn something from it. Just being selfish here.
Yeah, absolutely. See, it goes back to this idea that I told you, right? Systems create value, stories create valuation. You know, the world is only made of two things, systems and stories. There is nothing else that the world is made of. And let me explain this better. Everything you look around you, right? The building that you live in, the country that you live in, the vehicles and everything, they are systems. So this is how I realized that the most powerful thing in the world is narratives. Narratives have the power to shape behavior, shape actions. See, all the choices that we have made, right? Let's say I'm sitting here in my bedroom and we are doing this podcast, and you are in Canada and you are in that country. So I have decided to be in this city because of the narratives that I have started believing in or I have believed in, right? I believe that, okay, I want to stay closer to my family and I'm okay with compromising on some income by not going in any other country. I did get a lot of opportunities to move out of this country. But for me, being here close to my family was much more important than actually making some more money, right? So every person has their own reason and their own narratives to make these decisions. For example, I have bought this mic. Okay. I invested, like, this is a pretty expensive mic, the one that I have. There are many cheaper options. But why did I invest it? Because I believe in this narrative that in content creation, high quality audio is more important than high quality video. That's the narrative I strongly believe in. So I actually invest more in my sounds equipments than my camera equipments. Okay. Because that's what I believe in. That's the narrative I believe in. So that's when I realized that everything in this world is a narrative. The currency notes that we have, that all of us exchange with each other, is just a piece of paper if we don't believe in the narrative that it has value. That is what inflation is, right? When we stop believing in that piece of paper. That's what inflation brings in. So this is when I realized that's how powerful this stuff is, I realized, okay, then aren't the people who set the narrative the most powerful people in the world? And I have anyways practiced this. I have practiced storytelling for the last 18 years. I have seen how this works. I have actually helped a couple of brands go from zero to $1 million by helping them with their positioning, helping them with their communication and how to present themselves in the market. And I realized this is actually working. People are actually taking out their credit cards and putting it in and giving the money. And I was shocked. I was like, everything has been like, people have been so focused on the systems that they have forgotten the importance of stories and how much it can influence the systems itself and your behavior. And I realized I need to start talking about this more. And that is when we started Magnetic Nation as a community of creators who want to learn how to create magnetic narratives, how to build these narratives, right? What is the narrative I'm building? The narrative I'm building is that narratives have the power of changing behaviors, changing the way you act. And when you learn how to change the way people act, you have become the most powerful person, right? That is, I mean, people think that the most powerful people are the ones who are the heads of the state. But there's some quote by someone, I don't remember who, it's a philosopher or an economist or someone who said that the real power does not lie in the ones who are the head of the state or head of a country. It's in the people who are actually influencing the way they think. It's crazy, right? So that is the power of narratives, man. And that's why I realized, okay, I need to start talking about this and teaching this because now we live in a world that is driven even more by narratives because of the social media.
True. True.
So that's what we are
Wonderful.
talking about now.
So what you gonna what is like have you decided a path for Magnetic Nation? And Magnetic Nation is about, in a way, you're creating magnets. You're
Yeah.
harboring magnets to attract their own. Magnets have their own things to attract. In a way, that's what it is, right?
Yes.
And I loved the name when you
Yeah.
said Magnetic Nation, because in a way it's true, right? Like, because I have an idea and I want to propagate my idea, my thought process, and I want everyone to accept it, get attracted to it. So in a way, I'm a magnet, and you are harboring magnets. You are creating them, you're nurturing them to ensure that they achieve what they want. Okay, so what is
Yes.
the future plan towards this, and
Yeah. So
uh, how are you going to
that's a
help us
that's a
out?
perfect, way you explained it. That also gives the answer. So first of all, when I say magnetic nation, what are we attracting is the question, right? I'm saying magnetic, but what are you attracting? So the answer is you're attracting your tribe. That's all.
Super.
All of us have this, all of us have this capability of building our own tribes, even if it is just a tribe of 10 people, right? You are way more powerful when there are a bunch of people going in the same direction and are completely aligned. And
Okay.
narratives have the capability of doing that. If you're an entrepreneur, you need narratives to get investors on the same page, your employees on the same page, your customers on the same page, your shareholders on the same page, the government on the same page, right? And the only way, not the best way, that's the only way to do that is to have a narrative that is worth aligning everyone else to. That's what Elon Musk is so good at, right? Which
It says the
is
narrative.
creating those powerful narratives. Like we want humanity to create a civilization on Mars. Look at
Yeah,
that story.
that's quite powerful
Such a
statement, actually.
powerful, yeah, such a powerful statement. Now,
Yeah.
where are we taking Magnetic Nation? So right now, I'll tell you, I'm taking it very organically.
Okay.
I know the core of it, which is we want to teach how to create magnetic narratives, narratives that are so powerful that change the way people act. That's the core central thesis that I'm building on. Okay. The most obvious thing for us right now is to teach content creation because that's the most tangible way of spreading narratives and creating narratives. So, content creation is the one thing that we have started with. We have this program in which we teach people whatever they have, right? Whatever ideas they have, how to articulate them in a way that people find very interesting and they start acting on your advice. Yeah, not all kinds of creators are qualified to learn this knowledge. It's only those people who can create results. What do I mean by that? It is people who have gone through this dharana, dhyana, samadhi triangle, right? This process where they're able to hold an idea for a long time. They understand the deeper truth of that idea and they're able to kind of speak it from their personal experience, either by getting the results for themselves or by giving results to their customers or their audiences or whoever, right? I don't want human chat GPTs who just read something up in an article and then just speak it out as if AI cannot do that anymore, right? So we don't want human chat GPTs. We want human rishis, rishis who speak from a place of insight,
That's a big
right?
statement. That's amazing. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I was unable to stop myself when you said human rishis. Sorry, go ahead, go ahead. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful statement.
We want rishi intelligence, not artificial intelligence, right? And it comes from a
Rishi,
place of deep insight.
Rishi intelligence. That's a very new term I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's a
Wow,
term coined
Rishi
by my
intelligence.
friend Ravi Singh Chaudhary. So he has a book on this called as Rishi Intelligence, and
Really?
it stuck
Oh,
with me.
I would want to have a look at it. That's Rishi intelligence
Absolutely.
is really amazing term for sure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
You're
absolutely.
taking me
It's
everywhere, Prathamesh. That's
that's what
amazing.
happens when you talk to me.
Go ahead, go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, so it is for these kind of people that we have built Magnetic Nation. They have ideas that can change the world, but they don't know how to bring it out. They don't know how to package it in a way that is sexy, that is attractive, that attracts your tribe, that brings people in who believe in what you believe, right? And when you find people who believe in what you believe, you actually build more energy in what you're doing. Most people, most content creators get exhausted because first they're trying to be human chat GPTs, right? And the second is they're attracting people they are just attracting people for being provocative, being controversial, being hook worthy, viral worthy, but they are not attracting people who believe in what they believe. Imagine when you have 10 people who strongly believe in what you believe. Imagine the level of energy you will keep having. I have 400 people like that around me right now who believe in what I believe. And that's why I never get exhausted. I have been working since morning today. I was editing videos, I was talking with my team, I was coaching my students, and then I'm doing this podcast and I don't feel tired at all. First, because I deeply care about all of you. And second is because I'm surrounded with people who believe in what I believe. And that is the kind of people we are building Magnetic Nation for. Now, what are the solutions that we will create? What are the products we will develop? I don't know. I don't have all the answers right now. I'm going to take it very organically. There is no, I like to keep the future very blank and, react to the context of the world, like I say. I don't fall in love with my ideas. I have scrapped so many of my own ideas. Do you know what was the name of Magnetic Nation before Magnetic Nation? It was Permissionless Creators. And
Permissionless creators. Okay.
yes,
Thank God you
the
scrapped it.
idea was that you have to be permissionless when you are creating, right? You don't need anyone's permission to create. That was the whole idea. It was inspired by Naval Ravikant. And then
Oh,
eventually I was speaking with Guruji and I was like, I feel like changing this name, Permissionless. And then he helped me out actually arrive at this magnetic. So he contributed hugely to this entire thing of coming up with this whole concept of magnetic nation, and that actually made more sense. And you will see when I shifted from permissionless creators to magnetic nation, the way my audience started reacting in the community and on the channel also shifted. When I used to
true.
say permissionless creators, people used to just express aimlessly without having a goal. And when I shifted the narrative
Oh,
to magnetic nation, they started
yeah.
becoming very focused and started thinking, okay, what am I attracting people towards? What is the focus of this?
Makes
And
sense.
they started creating a slightly more useful content. And do you see how powerful this stuff is?
Yeah, yeah, it
It's
is. Like
easy.
the moment you said permissionless creators, it is mostly like corporative name. That's a the name Magnetic Nation has a punch to it, a power to it. You know why? Because it's a spherical thought process, isn't it? Like, um, yeah. Take me through what happened in the process of generating that name called Magnetic Nation, and how did Guruji help you?
So Guruji started with asking me questions in his typical style, like, why are you doing this? Right? He was testing me out. He was testing my commitment out. He was asking me like, what is permissionless creator? What's the whole idea? And he's like, I started explaining it. He's like, if you have to explain it, then it doesn't work. You shouldn't need to explain the name that you are generating. I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then I said, okay, but so he asked me, okay, tell me what's the idea behind it? Why do you care so much about this? I said, Guruji, I feel that narratives are very powerful. The same stuff I said right now, right? Narratives are very powerful, and you can actually create, build businesses out of becoming a good storyteller and being able to communicate your ideas in a very powerful way. It's like, yeah, this is a great idea. And he said, I think then let's think of a name like this. And I said, okay. So I gave a bunch of names, and he was like, no, 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 these are not good ones. And he asked me, how about magnetic narratives? He said, how about magnetic? I said, yeah, magnetic is perfect. And then I added the word narratives to it. And then we decided, okay, magnetic narratives is great. We should go ahead with magnetic narratives. And after that, it was done. And then Guruji just said, yeah, I mean, you can just create anything out of thin air with the power of narratives. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what it is. Let's do it. Like that is when we decided magnetic narratives is the name. And then I immediately changed my community name from permissionless creators to magnetic creators club. Right. And that's how it went. And then after about 6 months of doing this, I realized we need to book a domain now. Right. And magnetic creators club was too long, and magnetic narratives was again kind of, if someone does not know the spelling of magnetic narratives, then that will create an issue. It is also too long. So after a few sessions of brainstorming, I just tried out magnetic nation. because one of the inspiration behind Magnetic Nation was Bharat. I have always felt that Bharat is inherently a very magnetic nation, because for thousands of years different civilizations have tried to find a route towards Bharat. Bharat never went out and tried to find a route anywhere else. And that was a core inspiration for me. Like, Bharat has been a magnetic nation all along. And one of my deepest desires with Magnetic Nation is to spread the ideas of Bharat and what our rishis have taught across the world for the benefit of the world. We have so many ideas, like I just explained, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Such a powerful idea. That is a very, 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 very small part of the amount of stuff that we have to give to the world. And that is what I realized, okay, how if we build a community of creators who are spreading these magnetic ideas, which is benefiting the world? What would it look like? What would it feel like? And when the name Magnetic Nation came in front of me, it just flashed. The whole vision just like felt like, wow, look at the possibilities that could come out of this name, Magnetic Nation. It is so deeply rooted in our culture. It is so deeply rooted in this very different way of looking at the world, which is very different. Like, the way we look at the world is absolutely, like, we don't realize because we are born and brought up here in this culture. But when I speak with people from other culture and they hear our thoughts, their minds get blown. And I realized, wow, we need to just do something about it. I don't know. I still have no, like, I don't have a lot of answers. I just have a lot of questions right now. But then that was a core inspiration for Magnetic Nation. I found the domain, the .com was available. I was like, dude, this is a sign. Let's book it. Let's do this. And then I booked the domain, and that's how Magnetic Nation was. That's how the name for nation came in. But this was the process. It was like a 6 month evolution.
Amazing. Beautiful. That's a beautiful story of the name creation of Magnetic Nation, because when you said, you know, it, the inspiration came from Bharat, that what else is the best example than, because it has been there since millennia, like thousands of years. Like people from all the way from the various continents came, merged here, and then spread out. There are genetic evidences for it, and and up until like 1,000 years ago, everything was. Anyways, I don't want to go that direction, but amazing to hear that, Prathamesh. Okay, I want to, like, because we are going towards the closure of the podcast now. I want to talk. I have known you very first time when I have done a podcast with Guruji, the Guru Pachupatiji,
Mhm.
and that was an enlightening experience for me. After that, my thought process of finding, because we did a podcast on finding purpose and how do you identify a purpose. One statement which stayed out with me when I from that particular podcast is, you identify the biggest problem and then make it as your purpose, solving that as your purpose, and everything aligns, everything just comes in. That was
Perfect.
literally untying a big knot in my mind, and that's where I've started working on multiple things from then. I've created a couple of channels as well in parallel. Besides CLTV, I'm also running other two channels, and also I'm helping out others in documentaries and all that stuff. But because one interaction with Guruji has changed me a lot. You've got what should say, adrushta, like that's the only word I'm getting. Like I'm not getting the words in English. You know what is adrushta? In Telugu
Yes,
it's called,
yes,
you know that word. Okay, that's being lucky is
yes.
very small thing to mention, I would say, but
Yeah.
I would say adrushta makes it little bigger. So that's the only word I could get right now. So of spending time with him, understanding his thought process, his thought architecture, and you getting influenced by him. So take me through that interactions between you and Guru, and how did it basically change your thought architecture, and why does one has to seek the guidance of a guru in their life? Then we'll go towards the closure.
Yeah. I'll tell you something very specific about Guruji. He is the kind of person who will break all kinds of thought architecture. If you try to decode Guruji, you will have a problem. Don't try to decode him. There is no way you can do that. Otherwise, you will get one bouncer after the other, and you will get super confused. What you have to do is just surrender. That is what I did, and that's what I do, right? You just surrender to him, and you go to him with a problem, with an obstacle if you have any, or you give updates to him like, this is what you have discovered. most of our communication and our conversations have always surrounded around these two things, which is, Guruji, this is where I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, or Guruji, these are the insights I found. Is this right? Is this wrong? Like getting his feedback on whether is it my hallucination or illusion, or is it the reality? That is where you need a guru. But beyond everything, right? You need someone you can surrender to mentally from within yourself. Even if you don't have his physical presence all the time, it's okay, right? What is important is someone that you really, respect. I think respect is also a very understatement. I don't have a word for it. Bhakti, right? Someone you have this deep reverence towards, and that feeling is important. And even if that person is not really communicating with you, or there is no kind of constant communication, it will still give you a lot of answers. A lot of I coach my students, and they have all kinds of problems, and they come to me with questions to find answers. And I'm telling you, I'm surprised by the answers I get. I have no idea where I get these answers from, but I surrender all those answers to him, right? It's like, this is not me. My knowledge is not mine. You need to have this level of humility and surrender to get the grace. That's very important. So that is my relationship with him. That is how we have done things. And even when we did the podcast, and we are all the podcasts that you see on my channel, they are just me asking questions that I had. They were never about the audience. What would the audience would like to know? It was always, Guruji always told me, okay, tell me, where are you stuck right now? We will do a podcast about it. And then we did a podcast about it. And apparently it helped everyone else, because everyone else was also stuck on that, right? So that is how we did our podcast as well. Now he doesn't collaborate uh, quite often with anyone, right? But for me, even watching his videos and just having this sense of surrender is enough mentally. When I need an answer, I get an answer. And Guruji just told me one very interesting insight on how to know if the answers you get are right or wrong. And the way to know that is, did it give a result? If it gives a result, it is right. If it did not give a result, it's your illusion. Very simple. And what is it? That's what being a siddha is. What is a siddha? A siddha is someone who can accomplish results. The literal meaning of siddha is to accomplish a result. What do you accomplish? A result. And if you are able to accomplish those results consistently, you have a siddhi. That is what being a siddha means. And that's how you know whatever you have is right or wrong. And so that's how you start developing or walking on your own path, because a guru will show you the path. You have to walk it right. You have to go through all the struggles, the emotional, mental, physical, all kinds of struggle. That's how I look at it. And yeah, you use the word right, which is drishta. Drishta is used for rishis. Like, if you, in some of these shastras, when you are inquiring about who is a rishi is someone who is a mantra drishta. Mantra drishta is someone who can see the truth and can say it the way it is, right? That's what I have experienced with him. So uh, it's just like, even one podcast with him, I'm sure you have been blessed with a lot of grace, that I'm sure of,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
certainly.
Yeah.
It was amazing experience, and until now, it aged with me, and he was very pleasant in explaining everything through thoroughly, and even the viewers were also enjoying it, and that's one of the most successful podcasts of mine. It's not
Yeah,
because I'm talking about the success. I was quite moved by the content what he has shared with me, and it was quite evident also. I was like, wow, I already know that, but like dust and everything got removed. That was amazing.
correct.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
what happens with the guru is your signal to noise ratio shifts. Without
Ah,
a noise is more and signal is less. With a guru, your signal goes here and noise goes here. It's not that you don't know it. It's just that nobody is there to remove the noise and the bullshit from your life. It's like, what is a guru? The one who removes the darkness, right? And one who throws light. That is what a
correct.
guru does. That's the literal meaning.
Amazing, amazing. Wow, it was enlightening, or no, enlightening is I've already used for Guruji, so I should use something else for you. Wow, Pratamesh, it was a fantastic conversation which we had. I have learned great deal of information today. I appreciate Again, I have to keep on appreciating you because you've shared your thought architecture with us. You have shared how do one achieve their goals in their lives, and you've also taken us through the journey of Magnetic Nation and other and a hypothetical situation of creating an AI agent application. I really appreciate everything. Thank you so much. I would request you for another podcast in the near future whenever you have some time. We'll dig deeper into
Sure.
the dhyana, dharana, and samadhi. I wanted to get deeper into that triangular thought process and focus more on it and spread the word because that makes a lot of sense to achieve anything. Because when you have when you have dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, you can achieve anything, whatever you want to, right? And that's
Yes,
something new.
absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, I'm speaking on you, but that's something new I've learned today, and I really appreciate for that knowledge share.
Anytime, anytime. It's my duty to share. That's my, yes. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Have a great day.